Hi guys, I'm going to talk about Rails. So I'm just going to go right into it and talk about Rails. I am on a different tab now, so I can't see the chat, which is unfortunate news for me because I would love to see the chat and I would love to answer questions. So maybe I'll come back periodically between slides to answer any questions that you guys have. I feel like I'm just like have this energy of like now I'm on a podcast or something, but I'm going to go with it. All right, so agenda. I love agendas. Everybody wants to know why they're here. What are you going to learn? Rails at a glance, our mission, origin, product, company, and teams, and then also culture at a glance. Give you a little glimpse into what it's like to work at Rails. We're on a mission. We're building the largest financial data network to support the future of finance. Every day we work at this. Every day we answer to our customers on what they're looking for, and we try to figure out what they don't even know they need. Why I talked about innovation a lot in the previous session was because we actually came from another company called Coral, which our co-founder, Derek, was working at. He was working on microloans, got frustrated with how long it was taking for them to compile all the information to provide a loan to a business. So I'm talking about our lending case, which is our biggest use case, but wanted to find a way to expedite that process and pull in all of this information for these businesses to get their loans faster with lower effort. And so that's where Rails came to be. And that's why we try to keep innovation at the forefront of our minds. What Rails was supposed to be a feature of Coral, but it ended up being a fantastic lightning in a bottle that became its own company. We are 2 years young, already at 50 plus people, and we've done our seed round and A round in like 2 seconds. So it's a lot of exciting things happening in the business. For anyone who's trying to understand what it is that we do, we are a single API, connects to financial institutions and financial technology. I won't get into the details of this because you can look it up, but just in a nutshell, we collect data, we normalize it, which means that we make it make sense, and then we provide analytics to our customers. So that's really what we're doing. As I mentioned, we are on the verge of Series B and raising towards that. This is some of our leadership team, and what you'll notice about our leadership team is that a lot of us, actually all of us, have gone through an exit before. All of us have worked in really successful startups and organizations prior to coming to Rails. We have 2 really great team leads that are from Silicon Valley. And if we're able to attract in Silicon Valley in a Toronto company, I think that says great things about what we're doing and why people are attracted to what we're doing. So let me pause there for a second and come back and see if there's any questions for me. Any questions? Yes, no, nothing there yet. But please, if you have any questions, I will continue. All right. What it's like working here, I find that going through the values is the best way to indicate what we're actually doing, what we're about, what we hire and fire on, and how we live and breathe and conduct ourselves. Faster, fastest. It's not what you think. It's actually just about having a day one mindset and making sure that we go about conducting ourselves as if it is day one at Rails. And, we go forward with maybe 70% confidence versus analysis paralysis and, fail and learn fast. And that's one of our prerogatives. Being customer centric is really important. We're here because we're building something that the market needs, that providing a solution to our customers. So that's really important to us. We laugh and we play. We laugh and we play. And so there's a lot of ways we're coming together. As I mentioned, connecting through team building, connecting through innovation, connecting through social responsibility, wellness, learning and development. There's so much that we're doing to make sure that we are aligned and that we're having fun while we do this. We're at work every single day, so we want to have a good time while we're at work every single day. Taking pride in quality, so making sure that we're always holding ourselves to a really high standard. And this comes into distributed teams, right? Having distributed teams and working with people who are talented across this globe. We want to bring in great talent. We don't want to dilute the talent. We want to have really high quality work going out and serving that market in with high standard. And then lastly, and I'll come back over here, we make data-driven decisions, right? I mentioned to you, feedback is a gift. Feedback is king. We collect data all the time, synthesize it, we figure it out. If we can't figure it out, we ask the culture committee. in-house, and we try to dive into what we can do to be better and serve our employees better, serve our customers better, be honest, and really try to break out of that silo culture that can come about when you are working remotely. This happens all the time. How do you break from that culture? You talk to each other, you connect with each other, and you do something about what you're hearing. You do something about what you're learning. You upscale constantly. Our team leads are constantly getting feedback from the team about how they can be better managers, which is so important. We don't have it all figured out. We're always learning. We're always pivoting. We're always trying to be better and have this be a really great experience for people working at our organization. So if you want to be a part of that, and whether you're at the leadership level or you're an individual contributor and you're trying to see how you can make big impact, we will find a way for you to make big impact. We've got clear KPIs for everybody. We measure everything from a performance standpoint. We pay based on performance. We have compensation banding that puts people in equitable places. So we're not shying away from, doing the right thing for people. Something more about me. I have 3 pillars of success that I look at, or 3 success metrics that I look at that are really important to me in my philosophy and leading the people ops function. One is making sure that we have a transparent experience. So we're giving the information to the organization. You are all owners at the startup in which I work at in Railz. So you deserve to know all of the information and what's going on. So making sure that we're clearly communicating in that way. Another pillar for myself is to ensure that we have a fair experience, right? So I take it back to having equitable opportunities for everybody, where it comes to compensation, where it comes to even just the vacation and what you're doing around holidays, right? If we're fully distributed, are we recognizing holidays in different countries? We should be. Are there religious observances happening? Should people be having to take vacation when they have a religious observance? No, they should be able to say, this is what I believe in, and I'm taking time off to do this thing. So that's where I come from with those 2 pillars. And then the last one is a modern experience. Because we're in a tech company, I cannot stand archaic processes. We need to do better. We need to be connecting and manipulating technology to do our bidding so that we can be focused on purposeful work, meaningful work, and feel really good about the quality that we're doing and putting out there. And that's just my spiel, right? That's just the way that I look at it. I think that it's really important that people feel really good about what they're doing and what they're contributing to a business. And so those are the 3 pillars I look at. So let's see if there's any questions. Okay, thank you. Get some. I love that. That's really great. Okay, so day and ownership and day one mindset is so key. What gets you the most excited about next year and your company's growth? Well, yeah, I mean, there's, thank you for putting that up. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on right now. We are getting to a point of any enterprise readiness, right? So I'm going to be transparent with all of you right now, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting to the point where we want to be having Series B conversations. And so we're doing a lot internally to hear from the people who work on the front line of what they're hearing from customers, what they're learning in terms of what our data is showing, and how we can better ourselves in that to serve our customers better and serve, in an enterprise space. So there's a lot that we're doing to move towards that, which is so exciting because the Railz in itself has been so successful in this last 2 years of just trying to figure it out and bringing the right pieces together. And now we have the right pieces together so we can really drive forward and have the wheels on the bus really accelerate. So there's a lot that we're doing there to just align and define and listen to our market, listen to our customers, and get towards that enterprise readiness so that we can serve even more small to mid-sized businesses in what they need to get to. What's the most rewarding thing about working at Railz? Okay, so this I can talk about all day. I'm very passionate about the people that I've met here. They're so talented. They're so talented and actually care a lot. And we've done a great job in bringing in talent that has this passion, but that's just something that I've really been able to observe. I've been with the organization since the beginning of January, and I did a stay interview with every single person on the team and asked them, why are you here? And what would keep you here, right? Where can we find longevity in you being engaged here? And I about the passion that they have about what they want to be a part of. They're here for a legacy. They're here to be a part of a story, and they're here to build in a market that needs what Railz is doing. And so that's what's really exciting about working with this team. And all I'm trying to do is bring out the best in those people, right? Help them do their most purposeful work, help them be really, really high impact contributors to the business, and then rewarding them for being those high impact contributors to the business, because what they're doing is so, so important, and we wouldn't be here without them. So that's what makes me excited to wake up every day and hear feedback and be able to do something about it and to just make their experience really, really enhanced. All right. What sets it apart from where you've been in the past? Well, where I've been in the past, I'm really passionate about people in general. So I do find a way to really try to get to a point where you have really solid talent in an organization. And sometimes you have some turnover. It's not going to be perfect when you first get there. Some people don't really want to do what I'm saying, right? They may just want to do a job and kind of, it fell into their lap. And then all of a sudden you ask them, hey, what do you want to learn? What do you want to grow? What do you want to do? And it doesn't really jive and fit. But once you start to get to that equilibrium where, you're all on the same page and working together, you find that it's infectious. I find that any organization that I worked with, I feel the same. And I get to that point with a really great talent ecosystem that I'm able to foster and build and work toward. And a part of that is upskilling as well, because maybe you come to those people and they're not there because they don't have the skills they need. They don't, there's gaps in what they're able to achieve because they just haven't learned it. So making sure that we understand behind the scenes what's happening, why they maybe aren't on the right success track, and unpacking that with them and making sure that we can get them to that level where they can be part of that talent ecosystem instead of just relying on, oh, well, you're not really doing what we thought you would be doing, right? No gut feelings, right? Going back to one of our values of being data driven, right? And so I think there's no real separation. I bring this kind of energy any organization I work at because people are great and they just want to do their best work, and you can really bring that out in people when you start to show that you care about that. Is there a chance for intern software developers to apply to your organization? My goodness, Lucky, I'm glad you asked that. That's something we're not currently prepared to do because we don't have the infrastructure to support it. I would never bring interns into the organization unless I thought that there was the ability for us to really foster that relationship. And I would want all the team leads and people who would be working with them to really set them up for success, give them the opportunity to learn in the best ways that they can. And so I wouldn't do that just yet. I think we need to continue to build, there was no people ops function before I started at Railz. So we're still in the building stage, but that's something that we want to do this year. And we want to work with universities, not just in Canada, but all over, so that we can stay true to our, our diversity of thought and stay true to being fully distributed. So I appreciate the question. Please keep checking in with us because that's something that we are working toward to make sure that we have something really, really strong there for co-op and interns. All right, let's see what else. Okay. Oh, wrapping things up. One thing that you've learned in your career that you wish you knew earlier. Yes, there is. Don't take things personally. People are self-interested, and I mean that in the best way possible. People need to do what's best for them. And sometimes being at your organization ain't it. So it's understanding that you can have an alumni group that you still tap into, that you still invite to be a part of what you're doing, to contribute to how you move forward and ensure that, you have the right people in place. And so that's something that, you kind of take it to heart. It's like when a customer, for anyone who's in sales or anything like that, like when a customer turns, you're like, oh no, not them. It's anything that you've lost, which you've tried to build up. But not looking at it as a loss was something that I had to learn. And I wish I'd learned a little bit earlier because I used to really be so sad when anyone, would resign, but it's not personal, right? I want people to be happy where they work. I want people to be happy in what their professional choices are. And it doesn't mean that bridge is burnt. It means that, you have somebody external to your organization who's now a cheerleader, hopefully, of your organization, who you can bring to team building, external and holiday parties and tap in and ask them questions and, just keep that alumni group engaged. So that's definitely one thing that I wish I knew earlier. All right. So I talked a lot. I don't have one of my teammates here with me. We got pulled into an RFP and I said, go get him, Tiger. So it's just me today, but I really appreciate all of the questions. And I appreciate, that you guys are fired up about, what I'm talking about, because that's great news for me. It's music to my ears. I think we've moved further away from, HR, traditional HR, right? And I think it's been, compliance driven in a lot of ways, and really reactive in a lot of ways. And now we're talking about people operations, right? Operations within the business. What advice I would give to other people ops folks, or anyone who's working with people ops folks who maybe seem somewhat like me. We're trying to learn about you. We're trying to, build greater empathy in what you do. I can't write code, but I can understand code, because I want to know what our developers are stuck on and what's in their way, so I can get it out of their way. So a lot of great ways to really dive into every different function, so I can help to figure out what the needs are, the gaps are, provide support there. And just wanted to share that, because that's, I think, really exciting about this whole operations piece to the people function. Thank you, Alexander. It's really nice. You guys are all so friendly. I really appreciate it. I've got 1 minute left. Anybody have a last minute question? No? Yes? No? I'm going to pause for an appropriate amount of time. That felt appropriate. All right. So I will end off with just saying, oh, there is a question. Do you have a biz ops strategy role? Yeah, we actually are hiring for BDRs right now. So you can take a look at our website and check out our careers page. We are working on a boot camp for it. So if you are, if you come to the table with some sales skills, we're going to refine them. We're going to put you through a boot camp. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be all aligned in what we're trying to go forward with, and being consultative with our prospects. But we do have biz ops strategy roles as well. What departments am I hiring for? We are hiring for engineering. We're hiring for sales. We are hiring a partnerships role, which is also living in sales right now. We are hiring QA. I can't stress this enough. We need more QA automation, because we're building up our dev team and we really need help with testing. So that would be ideal. And so thank you so much, everyone. I've got 30 seconds left. So please check out Railz. Contact me on LinkedIn, and we'll go from there.